Is your scrolling habit easing your stress or quietly turning up the pressure on your mind?
Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Looking for trusted health wisdom you can hold in your hands? Discover the life-changing books of Dr. Joseph Mercola at joyhousepublishing.com. These titles bring decades of natural health research into practical steps for better energy, stronger immunity, and clearer thinking. Take charge of your health with guidance rooted in science and experience. Visit joyhousepublishing.com now and claim your bonuses while they are available.
Hello, and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. I'm Ethan Foster. Today we're looking at how heavy screen time and social media use relate to stress, self-esteem, and social anxiety, and what simple steps you can use to protect your peace.
I'm Alara Sky. We'll walk through new research that tracked real-world browsing for 7 months, how social platforms affect children and college students differently, and practical ways you can set healthy limits without quitting the internet entirely.
Let's ground this in the scope of the problem. About 4 in 10 U.S. adults report being almost constantly online, and worldwide, the average screen time is 6 hours and 38 minutes a day. If you start and end your day with your phone, you're in the mainstream, but there may be a hidden cost.
A large longitudinal study from Aalto University monitored 1,490 adults for 7 months, collecting nearly 47 million website visits and 14 million app uses and pairing them with monthly perceived stress scale scores. The design avoided guesswork by tracking exact behavior, timing, and device type, rather than relying on memory.
The patterns were clear. More time on social media, online shopping, streaming, and gaming was associated with higher stress, especially on mobile phones. Meanwhile, people who spent more time on productivity activities, like email or browsing news sites, tended to report lower stress.
There were notable differences across groups. Women reported more stress than men, while older and wealthier participants tended to have lower stress. Another nuance: those who already felt highly stressed spent less time on news sites, which aligns with earlier findings that stress can suppress news consumption.
Before we leap to bans, the researchers cautioned against blanket limits. The goal isn't to eliminate the internet. It's to understand your patterns and build tools that help you recognize when stress begins to drive your browsing. Gentle prompts, app limits, and short breaks can interrupt stress scrolling before it snowballs.
Let's shift to kids and self-worth. In a 2-week diary study of children aged 10 to 14, heavier daily use of Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube predicted feeling worse about themselves by day's end. Upward social comparison, believing others looked happier or better looking, explained most of the drop in self-esteem.
That age window matters. Around 10 to 14, you are forming identity, relying more on comparisons, and are especially sensitive to the psychological pull of curated highlight reels. More daily scrolling correlated with feeling less proud, more disappointed, and more afraid. Effects that settled in as the last thoughts before sleep.
College students show a different split. How you use social media matters. In a study of 1,740 students, passive use, scrolling and lurking, was linked to higher social anxiety, while active engagement, posting and commenting, was linked to lower social anxiety. Interaction appears to be protective when it builds communication skills.
There were gender differences as well. Women reported higher social anxiety, consistent with a more relational self-view and greater sensitivity to judgment. Communication capacity, empathy, expression, and listening helped explain the gap and acted as a buffer against the harms of passive consumption.
Many people ask where chronically online ends and addiction begins. Chronically online describes a lifestyle dominated by compulsive checking, difficulty being present offline, and moods steered by notifications. Social media addiction is a behavioral health condition where platform use disrupts daily responsibilities and relationships.
4 signs can flag a slide toward dependence. You feel lost without Wi-Fi. You know influencers' lives better than your friends. You use content as your primary way to process emotions. And you're rarely fully present because you're rehearsing posts or chasing validation. If these resonate, a short detox can help you reset.
If quitting isn't realistic, Targeted steps reduce exposure and stress. First, measure your screen habits. Track time across a typical week to establish a baseline and set a concrete reduction goal. Numbers make progress visible and help you notice spikes tied to mood or time of day.
Second, schedule a weekly digital day off. Choose one day with no social apps for 24 hours, or set an evening cutoff. Predictable, screen-free time lowers background tension and makes the return to your feed feel optional instead of automatic.
Third, turn off non-essential notifications. Badges and banners manufacture urgency and tether your attention to your phone. Disabling alerts for the apps you overuse lets you decide when to engage, rather than reacting to every ping.
Fourth, curate a safe-feeling feed. Follow accounts that promote kindness, realistic bodies, and healthy habits. Mute or unfollow pages that trigger comparison, fear, or self-doubt. Your feed should feel like a space that supports you, not a constant test.
Fifth, ask for help if stepping back feels overwhelming. Talk to someone you trust or a therapist who can help you process anxiety and build communication skills that strengthen your resilience online and off.
Sixth, trade some online interactions for real-world ones. Take regular screen breaks, call a friend instead of texting, or join a local class or volunteer activity. Even 10 minutes of in-person connection can reset your mood and steady your sense of self.
As you try these steps, remember the core takeaway from the research. Not all online time is equal. Passive consumption correlates with anxiety and stress. Purposeful, active, and limited use, paired with real-life connection, supports healthier confidence and calmer days.
Here's today's challenge. For the next 7 days, track your total screen time and identify your top 2 stress scrolling triggers. Turn off their notifications, set one screen-free block each day, and replace 10 minutes of passive scrolling with a real-world check-in or a call. Notice how your stress shifts across the week. Thank you for watching Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.